to make this vision reality, we need to collaborate, we need to work together. And this is something that I think that resonates very much with this community in NTC, that the need to collaborate and work together on technology issues is imperative to see a new world reality. His proposition was simple. It's like, in our individual calling to nonprofit technology, we all share pretty much the same needs and concerns. But instead of facing these problems on our own, we think about how much more effective and impactful we could be helping the poor if we shared our knowledge and experience, our successes and our failures, and genuinely work together. Then he invoked a Chinese proverb that the secret to success is getting started. As is, the hardest thing to do is getting started. But what was fantastic is that these 7 organizations took a leap of faith and got started. And they created an organization called NetHope. And NetHope, at its core, is a consortium of large nonprofit organizations with technology at the center. Another amazing aspect that I have to put in is that they all agreed that they would embrace the private sector, that we were indeed not raised by wolves, but that we actually can help come together and partner to help replicate and scale the good work that is happening in the ground and the field. So thank you, Ed. So what you see with NetHope today is something pretty amazing and transformational. They went from the 7 organizations to now, I think they'll have 30 this year. They reach over 200 IT professionals in every corner of the world, and that in turn reaches thousands and thousands of employees of those organizations around the world. They have created IT skills training programs and platforms for all these field folks to raise their capacity around IT. They've created this really great backpack called a network relief kit that you can take through security on an airplane, and it's portable connectivity for some of the hardest places to get connected. They've done some amazing work in Haiti recently, and if you don't know, it has a session at 3:30 today, and I'll tell you all about that. And also, you know, from the engagement with corporate partners, what started with initial engagement with Cisco has expanded to very deep partnerships with Microsoft, Intel, Accenture, Blackwell, HP, and Dell. So he's succeeded in an amazing way in bringing his vision of collaboration across these large nonprofit organizations, foundation funders, corporate and private funders, and resulted in really great things. And it's just the start, which is fantastic. So obviously Ed has inspired and led a movement for IT and development, his driving passion for collaboration and belief that the power of many can build influential relationships. And applying this to nonprofit technology is truly a remarkable gift to all of us. And to our movement to change the world through technology. He's often described as a visionary, a statesman, a leader. He's a true humanitarian. He's very funny. He'll always have a great joke and story and a laugh handy. He's a mentor. He shares his knowledge with the next generation as well as with NTEN and others. And he's also willing to learn. Last night we were downloading Uber Twitter on your phone, so you can learn to tweet by phone. So he's learning as well. He's been described as a charismatic technologist, which is, I think, pretty unique. Not many of them out there. And we both agree. We both agree that a good bottle of wine in moderation is an acceptable reward for a long day using technology to save the world. So please raise your imaginary glass of cheer to my hero and our guru, Granger-Happ.
Sorry.
Wow. Thank you, Jane. Now it's my turn to be humble. I had a chance to talk about humility the other day as being one of the most important core competencies we can have in our technology departments, because it means we'll be open to new things happening from outside. So thank you for this new thing. I don't know how I'm going to fit this in my luggage. I don't think I'll get through security.
Go ahead.
Holly said, I have to tell you that the Chinese proverb of the secret of success is getting started was actually a fortune cookie. It's true. A lifetime achievement. I'm tempted to paraphrase Mark Twain to say that the rumors of my life are a bit premature. And I thought I could, I'm going to tell two quick stories, because I think stories, as we learned in one of the sessions we had here, are not only key ways that we remember things and communicate things, but those of us in technology could really take more pages from simple stories as a way to explain to the rest of our organizations in the world what we believe the power of technology can be. The first story is Irving Stone wrote a wonderful book in the 60s called The Agony and the Ecstasy. It's a life story of Michelangelo. And about the middle of the book, he describes Michelangelo arriving in Rome from Florence at the age of 45. And Stone said if somebody had told Michelangelo that he would have yet to create more art than he had already done to date, and that he had not yet lived halfway through his life, he would not have believed them, but it would have been true. And the message I take from that, for those of you that have some gray hair around the room, and those who will have gray hair around the room, is there's always more to do. There's always more to create, and I think we can take hope in that. The second story is one I told at a NetHope conference to kick off a summit. And it was, I live in Norwalk, Connecticut. We've got some fairly old railroad bridges, most of which have those wonderful yellow warning signs that say, it's only 9 feet or 8 feet tall, and essentially don't try to take a truck through underneath this underpass. And inevitably, one truck driver does that. He gets the truck totally wedged underneath the overpass. And of course the fire department comes, and the police department comes, and the highway department comes. And they all stand around and they're debating about how to get this truck out. And inevitably, a 10-year-old boy wanders up, and he pulls on the coat of the fire chief and he says, "I know how to do this." The fire chief says, yes, nice. And he persists, and he said, "No, I can help you." And he, "Yes, thank you, appreciate your enthusiasm." And the third time, he finally gets the chief's attention. The chief says, "Okay, what?" He said, "Let the air out of the tires." Sure enough, the air's out of the tires, the truck gets free from under the bridge. Now, that's a wonderful parable for what we do. Not that we get trucks stuck in our bridges, that's not the point. But one of the key points is that what we have to remember is that we remove obstacles. We have to come up with creative solutions. We have to listen to the next generation. And I've been delighted at some of the conversations I've been part of here, and just hearing and learning new things from the next generations. But also the most important thing from that story is that our job is to get the truck to where it needs to go. And in our organizations, that means that job number one for technology is how do we move our mission forward. Don't ever forget that. Why you do technology, why you do applications, why you worry about upgrades, patches, and projects is not for the sake of technology. It's for the sake of moving the mission of your organization forward. And homework assignment number one is to be able to state how you're doing that mission forward. So, thank you very much. I'll try to figure out a way to put this in my suitcase, and look forward to seeing you again soon.